Hi everyone, Francis Walsh with thedigitalmerchant.com here. And today we're going to be doing a full review of FileForms. So FileForms provides a range of compliance services for small and medium businesses. We're going to be looking at them all, see which ones offer value for money, and maybe make some recommendations to you depending on where you're at and what you need. Compliance services like these, they might not seem like the most pivotal thing in the world, but if you miss compliance deadlines or get your filings wrong, they can cause big costs in terms of fines and other legal trouble. So enlisting a service like FileForms to help you navigate these issues can be very helpful and can save you time and money. So specifically what FileForms does, first off, you have BOI reports. These are required under the Corporate Transparency Act just to disclose the structure of your company ownership and to share with the federal government who's a shareholder and who owns what portion of your business. New business formation. So every time or anytime you want to set up an LLC, an S-Corp or a C-Corp, you need to register this formation with the authorities in your state. So FileForms can help you do that. Annual reports. More or less every business in every state is required to submit an annual report to the state authorities. Registered agent services. These are essentially services that receive official communications on your behalf. And then foreign bank account reports, or FBARs. These are essentially disclosures about your assets and cash holdings in foreign countries, and the federal government needs to hear about those as well. So we'll cover these in a little bit more detail later on in this video, but just that's a high-level overview of the services FileForms provides. So I'm going to proceed from here by just having a quick look at overall what I think FileForms does well and what it doesn't do so well. Overall, I'm a big fan of FileForms. I think it provides a great service, and I think it's very useful for a lot of small businesses who need the services it provides. So specifically, it's transparent pricing. As I'll cover in more detail when I cover each service specifically, it's very upfront about its pricing. It will show you on its website what each service is going to cost, and there are multiple packages for a number of its services so that they're aligned with your needs. This, I think, is something that's not common enough in service provision. I think a lot of businesses hide behind free initial consultations just to get you into their sales cycle. FileForms doesn't bother with that. It will just tell you straight up what it's going to charge you. Regular feature updates. So things move quickly in the world of business nowadays, particularly with AI and all the other kind of tech developments that are happening. FileForms does a good job of staying at the cutting edge here. It updates its services regularly, and this, I think, is another of its big selling points. It has strong security, so obviously with a lot of these services, you're going to need to provide sensitive data to the company. FileForms has a robust security system. It does a good job of keeping your information safe. Specialization over generalization. So it's quite a specialized service, as I outlined just there. It only provides a small number of services. I'm a big fan of companies that operate like this. I think it is better to do a small number of things really well than to provide a large number of services and to do them only to an average standard. And then it has helpful online resources. If you visit its website, you'll see pretty detailed outlines of all the services it provides and how they can help you with your compliance. And I think that is a useful feature for any company in this space. In terms of where it falls short, I think the big one for me is its limited CRM integration. Nowadays, pretty much everything takes place on CRMs, and it's handy with services like this if you can just transfer over your necessary information without having to do any manual data entry. That's not the case here. There will be some manual data entry if you choose to use FileForms, and it is a little bit inconvenient in that way. Also, its lower tier plans are a little bit bare bones, and I'll cover these in a bit more detail when I come to the individual plans. But in a lot of cases, or in some cases, the basic package probably won't cover what you need. So now I'm going to move on and look at each of its services in a bit of detail. So I'm going to start with the BOI reports. So this is Business Ownership Information Reports. This is a new federal requirement under the Corporate Transparency Act, as I stated. And it applies to most small businesses. Now, there are a number of exemptions, but more than likely, if you're a small business, you probably will have to do this. As I said, it only came with the CTA, so it's new since 2024. This means not a lot of people are familiar with it, and if you're not familiar with the language of federal compliance, it probably will be a little bit alien to you. However, as is often the case with these things, failure to comply can result in hefty fines and even criminal charges. So it's important that you get it right. If you choose to go with FileForms for the execution of this service, they'll charge you $179 for a one-time filing or $199 per year for unlimited updates. That's probably a better option if you're expecting ownership changes over the coming years, as a lot of small businesses will be. And I think for the time and the peace of mind it can save you, I think these are reasonable price points. There's also a premium package for $499 that includes a consultation with a CPA or a lawyer. If you have maybe a more complicated ownership structure and you would like that level of specialist consultation, that might be a good option for you. Next, we look at business formation assistance. So one thing I would say here is that this can range, depending on the state you're in, it can range from the very straightforward to the very complicated. I know California is one state I've noted here. It is noted for having quite a complex business formation process. Also, if you are, I know a lot of companies choose to set up shop in Delaware officially, even if they're not actually there, just because of its business-friendly rules. So basically, FileForms is active in all 50 states. It can help you with filings no matter where you are, no matter where you want to set up, or if you're a multi-state operation, it can help you in multiple states. So this can get quite complicated. If you are filing in multiple states, or if you are in a state with rules that aren't that friendly to businesses, it can be a particularly useful service. The price range here ranges from $99 to $399 with state fees added on, depending on what state you're in. And then the expert launch package, which is the premium package in this vertical, includes BOI reporting, which if you're a new business, you might need this as well. So it's included and it can save you a little bit of time and money. Next, we move on to annual reporting. So pretty much every business will have to do this. It's, again, kind of straightforward thing that you might be able to do yourself, but on the off chance that you get it wrong or that you forget to do it on time, it can result in fines. Some states even will subject your business to dissolution if you don't submit your annual report on time or per the relevant rules. It's $149 per report with FileForms. And again, they will facilitate you if you need multi-state filing. So if you're operating in multiple jurisdictions, they will take care of your annual reports in each one. Again, it's something that you might be tempted to think, I can save money on it, I can just do it myself. But for $149 plus state fees, it's really not the most objectionable price point. And if you don't have a lot of time on your hands, it could be worth looking into. And then we look at registered agent services. Now, this is quite a straightforward requirement on the face of it. Essentially, the vast majority of businesses in every state must have a registered agent. And this is just someone you officially nominate to receive official communications on your behalf. So that could be letters from the government. It could be notice about a lawsuit. For some reason, in most states, you are not allowed to nominate your own business as its own registered agent. It is potentially possible to nominate yourself personally to do it, but there are certain rules and restrictions that come with this. So, for example, you might have to publish your address online and you might be expected to be reachable during business hours at all times. These are typical registered agent requirements that do vary a little bit from one state to the next. But because of these restrictions, a lot of businesses do choose to use a third party like FileForms for their registered agent requirements. It's not the most crucial business service in the world. If you have a lawyer or a CPA who's already doing this for you, there might not be any great need to switch from that. But if you do need a registered agent service, FileForms does it quite adequately. So overall, does FileForms represent good value for money? Is it worth using them? In my view, it is. I think that they provide a lot of services that businesses generally need, and they do it. They do it quite well. They do it for a reasonable price point. They have very good reviews. They're well regarded, and I personally would generally recommend them. They have, as I say, clear pricing. It's quite hassle free. Most things are automated on the platform. As I stated, there's a slight issue with data entry. It doesn't integrate with your CRM, but overall, I think they provide great value for money and they do what needs doing very well. So that's all from me, and I'll see you in the next one.